Welcome to the Selling in the Motor Trade podcast, in association with Simcoe Training. This is the weekly podcast where we share best practice, tips and ideas on how to sell more cars, improve your service department, and generally put more profit into your dealership or dealer group. I'm your host, Simon Bowkett. Now, some of you probably already know me as Skippy. I want to start by saying thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. I have a question for you. Do you have an appetite for an open sales training program? You see, we normally run our sales training programs for dealer groups or manufacturers so we can get enough people in a room to make the training cost effective. But every year I get lots of people saying, oh, I've got one dealership, or I've got just two dealerships. I've got 3 salespeople that could really go through your training program. And we're often saying, well, I don't know how well it's going to stack up for you. Now, you have options. You could also go to Amazon and get the book Words That Sell Cars. It's a great book, and we have lots of clients give that to every salesperson when they start in the industry. Of course, you could always go to our signature sales fitness training program. Now, if you listen to our podcast, we plug that all the time. It's cost effective because it's only £299 for 3 months of digital online training that gives your salesperson a great start in their career. You could do that. But I want to see is an appetite for an open physical training course. Now, guys, we have to run that course interactively. Okay, it's not one of these courses where your salespeople sit there, crossing arms, just listening to it bored throughout the day. It won't be death by PowerPoint. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, go to our website. It's simcoetraining.co.uk. Look for the tab about open courses, and you get all the details you need right there. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Selling in the Motor Trade. Again, thank you for everyone who's subscribing this. Most people subscribe and you actually get the notification every week when it comes out. But people who haven't subscribed, it's Thursday morning, 6 o'clock. The new episode comes out every week. Easiest way, though, just subscribe like most people do, because everyone tells me it's the easiest way. It comes through. They know straight away they've got it there. So I urge you, just go and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your information from. But this is a request today. I actually had this from a salesperson saying, hey, listen, can you give me some ideas on how to overcome the objection when people say that paint and fabric protection is just a posh polish? So we're talking about SuperGuard, GuardX, Life Shine, whatever product you're selling. So if you're selling Diamond Bright, now I'm sure all of those manufacturers of those products will say, ours is better. Our ceramic coating is better than their ceramic coating. And you know what? We'd probably do the same thing if we were them. But I'm going to assume for the purposes of this, and Victor Kuzman, please don't get upset with me, but I'm going to assume they're all the same product. So I'm not going to talk about the specifics that Life Shine has the glass cover, Diamond Bright doesn't. Okay, GuardX, actually, it's got a lifetime warranty, and SuperGuard's only got 3 years. But or if you go to carbon, who am I going to talk about? Ceramic coating, it's a lot longer. I'll let your providers or your paint and fabric protection deal with that. In fact, if you look at our value-added program, our value-added course, our VAPs, okay, our value-added products, how we teach that, we'll talk about the specific product that is in your dealership when we do that. So if it's car care plan on your GAP, your RTI provider, whatever it is, let's just look at objections. And this salesperson, he had a few objections, which I get because I've actually thought them as well. In fact, if you're listening to this, maybe your sales manager's asked you to have a listen to it because your penetration of paint and fabric protection hasn't been the best, okay? I know that I didn't sell this product because I kind of didn't believe in it. And that's a real issue because you know what? I'm not one of these people that can sell something that I don't believe in. You'll meet salespeople that can sell sand to the Arabs, ice to the Eskimos. I'm just not one of those. If I don't believe it, I just don't, I really, really struggle to sell it. I've got to believe in the product to start with, okay? And I've got to say, I didn't believe it, and here's why. I've had lots of valeters. I could be honest, I started washing cars when I started the motor trade. I've told salespeople, it's a load of crap. But think that through. Why might your valeter tell you that paint and fabric protection is a load of crap? Think it through. If you sell a whole lot more of it, guess what your valeter has to do? Or your detailer in Australia? They have to fit it. Okay? And it's going to take a while to apply it properly, isn't it? So you're just giving them more work. And also, your valeting department, your detailing department, if you're in America, okay, they're going to have access to chemicals that you can't buy from Kmart, from Halfords, okay? So actually, it might be more important for your customer than it is to the valeter, who has access to all of those chemicals there and then, that they could get stains out of the carpet or the seat in the car that they might not be able to, okay? But also, I know what some of you are thinking. Yeah, you ain't seen my valeter though. They don't even fit it. This comes straight from Pete Beck from Superguard. Hi, Pete. Thank you very much for this. Now, Pete turned around and said, you know what? And I'm sure Gardex, all of them are exactly the same, okay? And speak to your provider of this product to make sure if you're uncomfortable with this one. But even if your valeter doesn't fit that product, they don't fit Superguard, okay? They just like wave something and say, yeah, it's done, all right? And the customer spills that milkshake in the back of the car, the Ribena, and they get a stain in the seat of the car. Is your customer covered under the warranty? You know what? They are. In Superguard, they will come out and repaint a bonnet if they need to. They'll put a new seat in the car, even if it wasn't applied by your valeter. I said to Pete Beck, really? Why? He said, Skippy, we have to. Because you think about it. We are approved by Toyota, Lexus, Mazda, okay? If the customer complains to the manufacturer and said, I bought this product called LifeShine and it didn't work, it's a load of shite, they might pull our approval. And it cost us fortunes. Now, we know that the valet hasn't done it. So what we do is we'll just repaint the bonnet if we need to. We'll put a new seat in if we need to. Now, they're not stupid. Pete then says, we'll go and grab that valet and say, oi, come here, you little bastard. Okay, you haven't fit this, have you? And I'm sure they'll have a conversation with your senior management team at some point. But rest assured, your customer is covered. This is the next thing. Does it actually work? You know what? It has to work. Think it through. Do you think your manufacturer, say it, Volkswagen, Honda, would allow us to sell a product on their car that doesn't work? Would they? No, of course they wouldn't do that. Okay, it has to work, otherwise they wouldn't allow us to sell it. Okay, very quickly. Wouldn't be so easy for someone like, okay, Mazda to say, right, that's it. You're not allowed to sell that product at any Mazda dealership anymore. If you want to keep the sign above the door, Mr. Paul Brayley, you have to stop selling that. Straight away, we'd stop selling it. So it has to work. It has to work. Okay. Now, I know the other thing that lots of salespeople tell me is, yeah, but Simon, do you know how much profit's in it? It's huge. Aren't we ripping off the customer? Now, I'm not going to tell you what profit margin is in your product, but you know what? I'm guessing it's really good. But profit's not a dirty word. That's why we sell it as dealers, okay? There is great margin in it. However, don't just have a look at how much we buy the kit from Gardex and how much we sell it for. Because what we often forget is we have to pay you if we sell that, most cases. So many times your business manager might get paid a tickle on it if it's sold. Your sales manager might get paid a tickle on it because if the profit goes into the pot and if your sales manager is paid on the profit of the whole department. We have to pay VAT or GST, depending on what country you are, on any profit we make in it. We have to apply this product properly. What, 2 hours to fit it properly? There's some labor time there. Now, again, you'll sit there and think, well, we don't pay our valeters that much. Well, okay, compare it to your technicians. We will sell a technician at an hourly rate a lot higher than what we actually pay them. Just think whatever your labor rate is with your technicians, okay? What is it? Is it $200 an hour? Is it 180 euros an hour? Whatever it is. Now, your valeter, we might charge out at half whatever we can get for the technician. But if it's 2 hours, that has to be added into it. But also have a look at the profit margin in lots of other products that you and I buy day in, day out. And think about a can of Coke. Now, not the bottle, not the tin, just the liquid in the bottle. How much do you think it costs to produce? This is American cents. I heard 5 cents. You think about it, it's only sugar and water, okay? The rest of the cost is in marketing, distribution. That's where it is. Think about Chanel number 5, okay? What are you going to pay for 100 mils of Chanel number 5? What is it? 100 euros, 100 pounds, something like that, 150? I don't know. I don't wear a lot of Chanel number 5, okay? Now, the liquid in the bottle, not the bottle, not the latest Hollywood actor or actress they've hired to shoot that little movie at Christmas time, not all the little gifts they give you when you buy that Chanel number 5, just the liquid in the bottle. In euros this time, what's it cost? I heard 5 euros. You think about all the products we buy. I know someone who worked for PC World in the UK. They sell an extended warranty guaranteed by Geek Squad. They were the underwriters of this warranty. The warranty they were selling for something like £300. So it's a £1,000 laptop, £300 extended warranty. How much did he tell me that they're buying the extended warranty from Geek Squad? £15. There's huge margin on that. But why? Because modern laptops, they're all solid state, I believe, nowadays. There's no moving parts. So if something goes wrong, it's often a software issue, not the hardware issue. Okay? There's huge margin in this. Or actually, think about that Costa coffee you had on the way to work this morning. That Starbucks. Again, I heard it costs more for the cup, the stirrer, and the little napkin than it does with the liquid in your cup of coffee. Huge margins in it. Okay, well, the funniest one is, are you listening to this on an iPhone? Now, you can go and search this yourself. This was on BBC Panorama interview. Goodness me, it must be about 8 or 9 years ago now. Whatever the phone was at the time, 8 or 9 years ago, they were retailing it for $999 in the US market. There was a big controversy, if I could say that word, at the time, where there were sweatshops in China. The conditions were so bad that people were throwing themselves off this building and killing themselves. Horrendous. So what did Apple do? Did they improve working conditions? Did they improve the pay to the workers? No, they actually put up nets around the building to stop the workers kill themselves. Can you imagine being the manager there? Okay, so no, come off the net. You got a few more iPads to build first. Come in then. Okay, now in that BBC Panorama program, so again, 8 to 9 years ago, something like that, the phone was retailed at $999, and the cost of it to make, now this is just screwing it together, not research and development, not distribution, not marketing, was $6. No wonder Apple's the richest company in the world. $6. So actually, don't be put off by profit. Profit's not a dirty word, okay? Oh, and some of you guys say, oh no, but hold on, I'll buy SuperGuard online. You know what? If your customer buys SuperGuard from eBay online, I'll tell you one thing I can guarantee about that product. It's stolen. Yep, you're right. SuperGuard will only sell that product to a franchise dealership, okay? LifeShine, you might say, oh, I go into Halfords and there's lots of LifeShine products there. You're right. But actually LifeShine, the paint protection, the fabric protection, they won't sell in Halfords because they don't want to devalue their brand, their product, okay? So they'll only sell it through a franchise dealership, okay? I know that specifically for SuperGuard. Listen, LifeShine, I may have that wrong. I've not spoken to those guys on that, but I'm sure if SuperGuard is doing it, GuardX would probably, all of them would do the same things. But again, take the lead from your reps that turn up, okay? So don't let that put you off, all right? It works. It has to work. Manufacturers wouldn't allow us to sell it otherwise, okay? And for me personally, I got two kids that like mountain biking and football and muddy boots. For me personally, the inside is probably more important than the outside sometimes. Okay. And you might be asking, is my car got Gardex on it? Yeah, it has. It absolutely has. If you ever see my car in the dealership there, I started washing cars for a living, so I don't like cleaning it that often. So I do get, and the inside is probably more important for me than the outside because it's my mobile office. Okay. So that's the first thing. Have a bit of belief. Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk about how to present it. Okay. You've all got the cards that you can use in dealerships. If you're watching this on the video, we've got one of the Life Shine cards here. You've got the Diamond Bright that have those little pieces of fabric that you can show on one side, the other side. You can do the upside down cup on the bonnet. There's so many different unique ways that you could present this product. Okay. If you want to know the coolest way to present it, okay, there is a man in an Audi dealership in Dublin who I've got to say is one of the best ways I've ever seen presenting it. But I'm not going to steal his thunder because he wouldn't want everyone else to know about it. But there's lots of ways to present it. Let's just talk about the objections. When people say, nah, I'll leave it. Let me just give you a few that you might want to try. Don't use all of these, obviously. Take the idea, twist it, change it, make it right for you. And this is just part of our sales fitness program. Oh, sales pitch. This is a sales pitch for you sales managers. If you like some of these training ideas that we do here on the podcast, go and have a look at our sales fitness training program. This is where we take people through a structured process for the first 90 days in their business. If they've been selling for a while, we take them through the masterclass. We talk about customers first contact and today's service advisor. We price them really cheap. It's $299. So you get 3 months of training, effectively £100 a month. And it's something that all of our clients put their people through after we've done training with them in-house, okay? Because it drip feeds the ideas all the time. And this is just a bit of a taster of what it is. Clearly, we're not going to give you everything here because I'm not silly. I want you to put your hand in your pocket and pay for something, okay? But let me give you some ideas on objection handling, okay? If someone says, if it's so good, why don't they do it from the factory? You'll hear that from a customer. Think it through. It's actually a bit of a silly thing because that's kind of like saying is that if adaptive cruise control was so good, why don't they put it on every car? Okay. If a heated steering wheel was so good, why don't they fit it to every car? There's going to be some limit there. Okay. But you will hear customers say that. This is how you might want to respond to that one. That's because they can't, Mr. or Mrs. Customer. You see, the car gets delivered with protective plastic all over it. When that's removed, it leaves a glue residue, which has to be acidically removed. This product has to be applied after the final polish, the final clean of the car to lock in that showroom shine. But I think what you really ask me, is this something that Honda recommends? Now, not only does Honda recommend it, but every manufacturer in Europe that I know of recommends some sort of paint and fabric protection nowadays, because cars are all painted in water-based paints, not mineral-based paints. You might want to try that one. Or you might try this one. No, I'll leave it. Yeah, okay, Mr. Customer, but you think about it. You wouldn't go to B&Q or Bunnings or Woodies and buy a £5 fence post and not protect it with creosote or cuprinol or Runsteel, or buy one that's been pre-pressure treated. Why would you spend 30,000 euros on a car and not protect that? If we're going to protect a £30 fence panel, does it make sense to protect a £30,000 car? That makes sense, doesn't it? Quick one. I like that one. Okay. I tend to use that for the older customer. Okay. Or you've got a younger customer. Okay. Now, again, it doesn't have to be old or young on this one. You pick what's right for you and your customer. Okay. So with this one, you see a customer comes in and they put their phone down on your desk. Okay. And they say, nah, I'll leave it. I turn around and say, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, but can I ask you a cheeky question? Couldn't help but notice you got an iPhone there. Okay. Listen, what's that, about £1,000 product? Something like that? You got £1,000 product and you protect it with an iPhone case. A screen protector as well, I see on that one. If you're going to protect a £1,000 product, doesn't make sense to protect that £25,000 car. That makes sense, doesn't it? Quite like that one. Now, check to make sure they have a cover on their phone. If they haven't, clearly don't use that one. Or you might try this one. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, can I ask you a cheeky question? Do you have a doormat at home? Most people do, because they wipe their feet because they don't want to take all the crud of the day into their house. But I don't know anyone that carries around a doormat and they wipe their feet before they get into their car. So all the same stuff you don't want to take into your house, just dragging into your car. Does it make sense to protect your car? That $50,000 investment? That makes sense, doesn't it? Or here's my go-to one. And by the way, there's lots of these, okay? I'm just giving you a few that you might want to try. This one is the sofa, okay? It's my go-to one. And I think I have to thank Pete Beck for this one, okay? People who know Pete Beck is cut him in half and it says supercard, legend in the industry. Hi, Pete. I know he listens to the podcast regularly. So with this one here, okay, Pete will turn around and say, yeah, okay, Mr. Customer, but you know what? You go to DFS, you go to Harvey Norman and you buy a £3,000 sofa. And people spend 300 quid protecting it with Scotch guarding. But you think about it, where's the sofa going to live? It's going to live in a warm, dry living room. And you know what? You're never going to part exchange it. It's going to end up in a skip or you give it some charity shop. Your car, it's going to live out there in the cold and the snow and the slush. And we all know that salt is corrosive in winter. And you know what? You're going to part exchange your car and get better value back for it when you bring the car back to us in either 2 or 3 years' time. If you're going to protect that £3,000 sofa, it doesn't make sense to protect that £30,000 car. Guys, they're just a few little nuggets you might want to try. Again, contact us if you want to know anything more about the value-added products and how to sell them effectively and ethically in your dealership or dealer group. Hey, contact us. And again, thank you so much for all the people subscribing. We really do appreciate it. That just leaves me to say that all details of this episode and other episodes on the selling in the motor trade can be found on our website, simcotraining.co.uk. Go there to get a copy of our book, Words That Sell Cars. Go there to sign up to a free trial of our Sales Fitness online sales training program. Easiest way to get hold of me is Simon Bowkett through LinkedIn. Thank you.